Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode in this ongoing and growing podcast about numerology. I'm super delighted as I see this podcast growing and more people becoming part of this numerology community, and specifically, this community and perhaps my mission is to really present numerology and its potential for clarity. So for those of you who are new, you will see that I tend to be very grounded. I tend to use numerology in a way that directly relates to our life. And I don't want to stick my head too high in the clouds without it meaning anything practical to our life. So for me, numerology needs to be transformational. And that's the kind of community that I am building around me and hope to kind of present to the world. So, so welcome. And in this episode, we're going to talk about master number 11-2. So I'm sure that most of you who are listening to this episode or to any of my episodes have heard about master numbers. Many people are very excited to shout or to say out loud how they have a master number. And it's very exciting. And a master number, right? The number this title, master number, sounds so grandiose and so promising, like as if I have a master number means something very, very special about me. But as some of you maybe already know or have listened to my episode about master numbers in general, you probably already know that master numbers can also be very challenging. They're very complex numbers. They are demanding. They demand higher consciousness. It's not a number that is as easy to live out or to fulfill its calling. And yes, it does have a lot of potential. So I want to give that as a kind of like foundation for our talk. We're going to deepen today specifically into master number 11-2. And I like to call the 11-2 the dispeller of darkness. And we're going to understand what that means on a few levels. I'm going to talk about, the 11 as a personality characteristic, or, the traits that the 11 gives to a person when they have it in their core numbers, and the 11-2 as an energy that presents itself in our period cycles, for example, in a personal year or in a cycle, in a pinnacle. So why do I call 11-2 the dispeller of darkness? Well, for me, like the 11 is an energy of, it's a higher frequency of light. And light, in a sense, the moment you switch on the light, it dispels darkness, right? So what was dark before is suddenly lit up and you can see. Now, the process of seeing, we all want to see. We all want to kind of, essentially, we all want to be in the light. We want to be able to see. But to see sometimes involves seeing the things we didn't want to see. So, maybe we didn't want to turn on the light because it's painful, or because it's dirty, right? Or because we're in denial. So turning on the light can be also challenging. It's almost like a process of purification. And so the 11, in that sense, is the dispeller of darkness. It brings light into places that were endarkened before. And this process can be amazing and inspiring, but also challenging, digging. Okay, so I want to give that background about the 11 as we're kind of like entering deeper and deeper. So the number 11 as a kind of energy, first of all, it's important to know that the 11 functions on the higher mental sphere and the subtler energetic levels. So we have here like a higher thinking faculty, higher inspiration, ingenuity, sometimes even a sense of innovation, mission, altruism, thinking that is very much out of the box. It can give a person qualities of courage and braveness. So that is, by the way, and stands in contrast to the 2 part, right, of the 11-2. And this, by the way, is part of the challenge of living with the 11-2, because people with 11-2, they will kind of switch back and forth between the 2 and the 11. There's no way to just be an 11, as you hopefully learned with master numbers. There's no way to just be an 11 all the time. You always fluctuate between the single digit of a number and the double digit of a number. Sorry for the little message noise that was here. Now the 11, as with all master numbers, has a kind of more impersonal energy. Master numbers tend to flow more into the impersonal domain. What that means is, for example, if I'm inspired as a master number person, let's say I have 11-2 in one of my core 3 numbers, either life path, expression number, or soul urge number, very often I'm going to be influenced to do what I do, or give what I want to give to the world on a more mass scale. Okay, it's like I want to leave something for the world, not only for myself. It's I, as a personality, I'm gravitating to the less personal side of things. I want to influence greater crowds. Okay, I want to reach the masses. I want to leave some kind of imprint on the minds and hearts of people, and that's what I mean by kind of like a number that functions on the more impersonal level. For example, if you look at the 2 side of the 11, right, 11-2, the 2 is more personal. It's I want to do my stuff like on a kind of like on a more personal basis. I don't feel like necessarily any calling or any pull to do something on the mass scale level, but 11 definitely it goes there. Okay, now. So far, we've talked about the 11 as a kind of personality character. But what happens? What happens when the 11 turns out to be your current personal year or your current cycle and pinnacle? Now, this is surprising because I think many people expect an 11 to be like a very, like an amazing time, or wow, it's a master number time and a lot of opportunity. True. I would not deny that. Definitely 11 can be a time of opportunity, a lot of opportunity for growth. Okay, so definitely as a theme, yes, it's a time of intense growth, intense maturation, very powerful, strong potential for spiritual maturation and growth, and ability to see a deeper truth, to grow into a deeper truth. Doors, all kinds of opportunities can open for you to grow and to expand. But we have to remember a period of 11-2, whether it's a personal year, a cycle, or a pinnacle, is also very often a time of intense purification. So purification can mean that a certain truth that I wasn't aware of about myself. This can be some shadow that I wasn't aware of, a pain, something about me comes to the light and needs to be seen, something I was suppressing, right? So it's almost like reality stirs up something and sheds more light into my being. And this can be tough. This can be very demanding. It requires sometimes a lot of therapeutic work and transformational work and, agreeing to see things and to open the eyes to wake up can be painful. Simply put, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's amazing, but that's how it is. Growing is not easy always. And so we want to be aware of that when it comes to 11. Sometimes before you can enjoy the nectar, so to speak, of light, the champagne, you need to go through some hardship. And that's very natural to the 11. Sometimes the 11 to personal year or, pinnacle or whatever, it can be unsettling to begin with. It can be like some kind of interruption, almost like a lightning bolt that suddenly hits you and interrupts, right? And enters like your sphere, your nervous system, your mental sphere, your emotional sphere, your spiritual sphere, your spiritual being, and kind of starts to dig in and draw like a deeper truth into the surface. You need to kind of be confronted, first of all, with certain layers of illusion inside of you. So yeah, that's 11. But through this process, you get to grow a lot. Afterwards, usually there's a much deep, after you cross the kind of turbulent zone, you will be much more aligned, with your destiny, much more in tune. So that's when it comes to a higher to like a period cycle or like of any kind, short-term or long-term period cycles. So what else do we want to know about the 11? Insight, brilliance. So you will see often, like, a person that just comes to mind as I say that is Robin Williams. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, he had like twice an 11-2 in his chart. Like, I hope I'm not mistaken. He definitely had an 11-2, but I think he had two of them. And it's like you can really see like how much inspiration, the higher buzz of the 11. It's like a higher vibration that wants to flow through and inspire. Sometimes it's like it inspires you with information, knowledge, insights, like brilliance. Sometimes, a person can be like really a genius in a specific field or a specific area, super brilliant in a specific area. And I mean, Robin Williams was a brilliant actor. He touched many, many hearts through his movies. He was just, there was something so touching about him, so, his movies were always conveying something so innocent in a sense and touching the hearts of people, reminding them of something that really matters. So you can also see how the 11-2 had both the talent in his case, but also that message that came across, that message of remembering the human heart, the human soul. It was always kind of touching those places. You will sometimes have people with the 11-2 that have the ability to see into the nature of things and potentially teach what they see to others. In other words, become some kind of spiritual guides or spiritual teachers. Traditionally, in Western numerology, I think that the 11-2 master number is often referred to as the master teacher. To me, these names don't mean much, okay, because it's too archetypal. I think that we have to talk, as I said, I love to be grounded. I love to talk about the numbers as they really connect to us in our lives, not as only an archetype. So 11-2s, if they connect to their strength and knowledge, and they find their way, they can later on become teachers. They can be very refined, they can be very subtle, and so they can really teach others. They can pass on the light, we can say. But what happens if the 11-2 does not live up to their calling? And this is also important to know. And 11-2, and that what I'm going to say now is valid for all master numbers. The 11-2, if they don't live up to their calling, there's a bigger frustration than if, for example, like a non-master number would not fulfill their destiny. So the 11, I think more than other master numbers, they have this kind of, they tend to be high strung. It's like almost like an erratic kind of energy about them. If they're not fulfilled, it's like a restless, erratic kind of energy. It's almost like short circuits kind of in the system, electricity that is buzzing and it's disturbing and it's really annoying. I've seen people that are become super frustrated beings. It's almost like an anger that doesn't know anymore how to channel itself, because instead of becoming like a creative energy, it became a kind of blocked energy, and there's a lot of frustration and anger and okay, something that just wants to scream. The energy can become dispersed. People can become tend to go all over the place. They can become really restless. I know people with 11s who tend to kind of like shoot in too many directions and never actually settle for anything. It's like, it's almost the 11 is, there's so much inspiration that eventually, you're not actually settling for anything. And it's a pity, because you're just all over the place, but you're never really channeling your 11 energy. So that's very important for people with 11s, to make sure that they're not just, all over the place. It's nice to be inspired, but we have to learn how to channel the energy and make it grounded and make it count, Just to be inspired all the time is not necessarily what we need. We need to be inspired and then channel it into our lives, make it real. Only then it becomes something of meaning both to us, like because we manage to manifest more of our being, and more to others, because then others can benefit from our experience. Another interesting thing I've noticed about 11s, when they function on their shadow, and this will be maybe surprising to you, is that they can be liars, which is right the opposite of revealing the truth. So a number that is supposed to, in its archetypal kind of energy, be a revealer of truth, in their shadow they can become deceitful, liars, like hiding the truth, not showing the truth. So that's also something to be aware of. Usually this will happen in conjunction with some other numbers that, maybe enhance that, maybe like a 5. Sometimes, by the way, with a 7, I've noticed, like 11-2 with a 7, because 7 is also a number of truth, but also can hide things. So you have a 7 with an 11, sometimes you will have more lies. 11 with a 5 also tend to be more messy. There can be all kinds of lies involved, and so on, like not wanting to see the truth, hiding it from oneself. So that's very important to know about the 11. So my friends, to sum this up, I would say that if the 11-2 lives up to their potential, they become a beacon of inspiration, of brilliance, of truth. And they can touch and reach the hearts of many people. And in order to allow that to happen, the 11 demands a lot of work of inner purification and inner growth, and a willingness to see myself, to come out of hiding, to really get in touch with myself, to leave no stone unturned. And then I really start to connect with my 11 to master number power. Wonderful. Now, for those of you who want to deepen into numerology, and I'm sure there are many of you who do, if you want to do that more for yourself and you want to learn, I know many people ask me, how do I start learning numerology? So I always recommend, I created a self-study course. You can purchase it online and simply study it in your own pace, from home, on your tablet, phone, computer, whatever you like. It's pretty comprehensive. It will allow you to understand your own life much deeper, and also other people around you, family, friends, much deeper. You can click on the link in the description of the episode or the description of my podcast. It'll lead you right to that page. For those of you, and I have already some of you who contacted me, who want to learn numerology professionally, so you can contact me as well. You will study directly with me. You can simply go to my website and contact me from there. I will answer you. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Fantastic, my friends. I wish you a lovely rest of the day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.